God damn. Okay.
Oh, this is staying in the outtakes.
Oh boy. All right.
Should we come up with an intro?
Bit late for that, buddy. Listen, this shit was called the Gung-Ho Book Club, and it has episode 1 and episode 3. I don't know where the fuck 2 went, but yeah. So we did this.
But here the fuck it is.
Last we did this was years ago, and we did I did Swan Song with my buddy Scott, which was awful. And in pure, book club tradition, apparently we're doing awful again.
I mean, you know,
yeah.
it's what
by
the people want.
I mean me.
I don't think
What
these
the
books
people
are awful necessarily, but
Okay.
they're not great.
Yes. So just so we're clarifying, we are talking about
What's the name of the first one?
Reader.
Thongor and the Wizard of Mediocrity.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's the one.
It's Thongor and the Wizard of Lemuria,
Lemuria.
which was published in 1965. It was apparently Lynn Carter's first published work, but it was his seventh novel, so I don't want to think about the first.
That's, you know what? It said, like, right from the beginning in the foreword, it says, this is my first novel, which is to say the first novel ever published. And
Yeah.
by the end of it, I thought, buddy, it shows.
Yes. Yes.
And the edition we have, which I think I gave to all of you, also says, I went back and redid some of the parts and edited.
Yes. Can you imagine
that is
the original book?
The original,
I-
yeah.
rather not. and let me just say to the ghost of Lynn Carter, I went back and edited it, buddy. That ain't the flex you think it is.
Oh man.
But let's set the background for this,
Okay.
right?
Well, the background is there's 3 of us talking. First of all,
Yes.
uh,
Should we, like, I don't know, maybe give names?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea.
sure. So in the American corner, we got Cameron, Cowboy
that's
Cam,
me.
who's written a fair bit of stuff for Gung-Ho previously,
Yeah.
Puzzle
fiction
talk,
and
Cam.
reviews.
I
Yeah.
have a tradition of starting review series for you guys and never finishing them.
That's fair enough. That's what everybody does. That's what I do. You should see my draft category on WordPress. There's like 25 articles there, and some of them only have the title on it. It's really it's a
Welcome
sickness.
to the ADHD Review Club. We're-
Speaking of, I gotta go, guys.
Fuck you.
All right. Closer to home, which is Romania, I got my buddy Ian, my longtime wargaming buddy Ian, whom has been partaking in my Trench Crusade endeavors
Indeed.
of late.
And we used to play Chain of Command.
We used to play Chain of Command.
Yeah. Back in the good
He,
old days.
back in the good old days, like last year,
Yeah.
pretty much last spring. He's very savvy on all things technical, English related.
And yeah, I do teach the English as a profession, and
The
apparently
English, he takes the English, he sits him down, and then he teaches it.
exactly. I teach him how to speak English good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then there's little old me who writes stuff and plays stuff and
You got a name there,
doesn't
buddy?
do much else to be.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. But it's we'll just go by Kazi because it's easy for people to
Should we call you Grizzly
Kazi. Sure, I guess. I don't know what that stuttering was, but sure. That was Audacity.
That was
What do
the
you call it?
audacity.
The Audacity feedback.
Mhm.
So that's the 3 of us. Nobody's trying to
Review a goddamn book.
Yeah.
review a goddamn book. Lynn Carter definitely has more books published than we do
This is
combined.
true.
Oh yeah.
So this is fun, but you know, you can criticize stuff without having been in the game,
I mean,
as
listen,
they say.
I may not have written anything, but I've read enough to know when a book is mediocre.
That's right.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty much. All right, so setting the scene. That was
yes,
awful intro
that
work.
was the worst, the worst.
It's
But
fine.
you know
It'll
what?
it'll get better. There's 2 more books in this series, so
No,
I mean there's 5, but ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, you know, we'll see.
We'll see.
It's
I've been through 3 and I'm kind of over it.
I've
it's
read
not a,
2 so
yeah.
far.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not about time. It's about our patience with this shit.
Yes, indeed.
So
Oh,
All right.
I'm gonna read them all.
okay, all right. If you want to put yourself through that, buddy, we'll see. If we hit 100 subscribers, um,
Line them up. I'm gonna hit them.
all right, all right. So for the setting, the background for the actual book. Now, Cam, you would know more about this whole thing, but from what I looked at, this was the 1960s, right? So a lot of stuff was happening in
He's
the
not
back.
that old.
Yes, Cam
You would know
is.
more about this.
Nah.
Cam's the youngest on the fucking podcast.
Okay.
But I'm a history teacher.
Oh, but also that, yeah.
Funny enough.
All right, carry on.
But you're also heavily into the sword and sorcery genre, as
Oh
it's
yeah.
called, which apparently was kind of booming in the 60s.
hmm
Both the sword and sorcery literature and the sword and sandals films specifically. So this is when we got shit like Spartacus, the Hercules movie with Reg Park that inspired Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yep.
to become a bodybuilder and stuff, and
To become Arnold
to
Schwarzenegger.
become Arnold. Yeah,
To become.
there you go.
Lift the things, put them back down. Lift again. How many times you gotta do this? Lots of times.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, and this isn't relevant to what we're talking about necessarily, but another book that came out in 1965 was Dune. So
Hmm.
just to see what we're comparing shit to.
Maybe Lynn Carter should have done some drugs when he wrote this.
Maybe I should have done some drugs when I was reading it.
It would have been a
Definitely.
better experience.
It would definitely have been a better experience, yeah.
But I think, and this
Listen,
will,
if I
yeah.
can't do drugs with a toddler in the house,
Mhm.
but if I could,
I mean, like you
I would
could.
definitely reread these while roofied or some shit. I don't know.
Just to be clear, we are not endorsing taking any forms of drugs while caring after children.
Oh no, no.
I said I can't do drugs
I
with
said-
a toddler in the
I
house.
said you
I literally led with
could,
that.
but like that's not a good idea.
Just want to put that out there as a PSA. Do not,
Yeah.
wait for them to move out and go to college, and then do all the drugs.
Right.
Wait for them to turn 7 at least.
At least. At the-
You know,
Once again, we do not
so that they're
endorse.
8.
God damn it. All right. Now, if we could focus the ADHD for just 1 second, there's one last bit of context, which I think will come back and be relevant. But in 1960, what was it?
Motherfucker got notes here and everything.
Michael
notes too.
Moorcock started doing his. Did I say Moorcock? I did.
You did.
You said more cop.
Michael Moorcock.
Let's go with less cop. I don't need more cop.
I mean, personally, I could do with less cock as well, but.
Oh.
Ooh.
So, again, Michael Moorcock started publishing his Elric series.
Elric, yeah.
We will come back to this.
Oh.
I've never read Elric, so
Me neither, but I'm aware of it.
yeah.
I've been through some comics like way ahead ago, so.
Alright.
But we'll see. We'll see what Ian wants to do with this.
Yeah.
He got a plan. He the man with a plan.
I got more a series of expectations than a plan per se, but anyway.
You know.
Yeah.
Expect them to be unmet.
Yeah.
I'm laying it out there.
My expectations were low, and yet. Cam, anything you want to add to that?
So I will say that like this stuff is clearly meant to be a both a sequel to Clark Ashton Smith's Hyperborean saga and a prequel to like Howard's Cull and Conan stuff.
Like for real?
I haven't read Cull
Yes, because
because of the way the timeline's set up. It
yes,
talks about it.
yes, the Lemurian continent is mentioned in the Conan and Cull stories,
Mm-hmm.
and the Dragon Kings and all that stuff. They're mentioned. They're like connected to like the Serpent Men and all this stuff. It's all meant to be like playing in that same world, but you can't officially make it in the same world. So Link Harder does his own thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the
So it's
parallels were
basically
deliberate.
it's
Yes.
so carbon copying Conan
Mm.
was deliberate,
I mean,
pretty much.
yeah, this is a theme throughout the book.
Yeah,
Pretty fucking
throughout a
much.
lot of it anyway. So
Um,
yeah, we got this pastiche, is it what it's called?
That's exactly what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of sword and sorcery style Conan, leading barbarian dude, traipsing around a mysterious ancient world
Hmm.
beset with weird reptilian, like huge dinosaur type shit, but also something that Cam was pointing out is that it's a little bit like what did you say, John Carter of Mars?
Yes, very much so. You can tell it's inspired by it.
hmm So it's got stuff like the floaters, which is
Mm-hmm.
a floating boat pretty much, and it's got a lot of like throughout. We're just going to talk about the first book, but throughout the three of them, there are points where Carter starts to go into physics and definitions and
Oh no!
Yeah.
trying to skirt on the sciencey side of things, like not sci-fi, like actual science, which is
Wow.
weird to me because it really takes you out of the like he's got a point in book three, I think, where he starts to reason why or how an unconscious body hitting a body of water would boost the chances of survival because the body doesn't tense up, so the water just engulfs it, and so it's like a fucking entire page of this.
That's
I mean,
nuts.
It's insane, but anyway, trying to reason.
okay.
So I'm going off on a
So
tangent, but
hard fantasy is what he's going for.
I don't know. Like I haven't my sword and sorcery is limited to pretty much Conan, I think. A little bit of John Carter. If you could s- talk about Elric as sword and sorcery, adjacent, dark fantasy, that type of shit.
Yeah, it's more the dark fantasy thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, right? The ink is still fresh on the Lord of the Rings at this point, right?
hmm hmm
So the whole fantasy genre wasn't elves, dwarves, orcs like we know it today. It was more the Conan style of fantasy, the majority of it, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Low
Which
fantasy.
means yeah, if you could call it that. I mean, there's wizards, there's literal gods coming in and out of the place, so it's more,
Yeah, but there's
hmm,
like there aren't fucking fairies running around the place casting spells everywhere, which is more. I mean
And the
even
magic's
even
limited.
yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Because even Lord of the Rings isn't high fantasy
that's
to
true.
me.
Yeah,
Like
no, yeah. By
World of
today's
Warcraft
standards,
is
you're
high
right. Yeah,
fantasy,
yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, you're
So
right about that. You're right.
you can't fart without unleashing a cantrip or some shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
And even our own resident wizard for this book, right? The first thing he does is throw a bunch of crystal meth in the face of a dragon.
Of a vampire plant thing and a dragon.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not even actual magic. It's literally just opium.
yeah. It's enough opium to put an entire city to sleep or some shit. I think
Yeah.
that's how it's
Yeah.
it's
Oh, we'll get to that.
yeah.
We'll fucking get to that.
We'll
I
fucking
got
get to
notes,
that.
motherfucker.
That's good because I got my notes stop at some point because I got bored taking notes and then I stopped taking them like
My
pretty
I
much
notes
mean,
after he meets the wizard.
my notes
yeah.
on book 1 are much more thorough than my notes on book 2.
Okay. For
Like,
some reason I went the other way.
No, for me it was pretty much the same. Like the more I was reading, I went to take the note, and I thought, you know what? What
Fuck
is
it.
even the point? I've complained about this shit enough already.
I got yeah. So I used the notes on my phone, so I got like 3 pages of notes on book
Hmm.
one, 9 on book two, and then like 3 on book three. I just it went down from there. Like book two had me jotting shit down all the time. All right, so
So,
how the fuck does this book start?
wait, how does it fucking start? Oh, right, with a tavern brawl,
With a
as any good
barroom
adventure
brawl,
would.
as any good RPG.
Yeah,
I,
a little
As we're gonna.
a little cliche, but a good start.
It
but
was yeah, it was actually not bad.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? We see it as cliche now because
Hmm.
of D&D, but this predates D&D by at least 15 or 20 years,
It's true.
right?
Well, actual D&D, yeah, I guess, because
Actual D&D,
chainmail
yeah.
was like 71 or some shit.
Yeah,
I need to
thereabouts.
stop saying some shit because I think I've said some shit like 20
Well,
times.
Yeah.
we can call the podcast some shit. It's fine.
That's fine. Oh yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
some shit.
basically
Dot dot dot.
some shit. Dot. Like I was going through this and I'm thinking, wow, this is a lot of this reads like someone's D&D campaign that
Hmm.
they turned into a novel.
Yep,
And I had to remind myself that D&D wasn't really a thing yet. In fact, RPs weren't a thing yet in the
not really,
tabletop
no.
sense. And nobody was Kriegspieling fucking Thongor
No.
at this stage, you know? Um, so we start in a barroom brawl.
Yes.
Um, and at this point comes my first note in, which is Otar, Sarnwine, Zamf. What the fuck is all this?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of he puts a lot of terms in right off
Mm-hmm.
the bat, and at times he just throws them and doesn't explain them and expects the context to
Yeah,
help in figuring it out, which would work if there were more context.
Yeah, every now and again it works, but usually
Yeah,
no.
yeah. But and also there's times where he just goes into entire fucking explanations and diatribes and kind of loses himself
yep.
Mm-hmm.
talking about shit and then going into different histories and different places and all of that stuff.
He really tries to build this world. We talked about this on Facebook, that like to make
Mm-hmm.
it seem like it's much larger than what it is, like the world of Conan, but like
Yeah,
it doesn't feel earned because I'm like, dude, I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Whereas
it
when,
doesn't.
hmm
Yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Um, so, so it doesn't. When Conan starts, it every short story or every story tries to focus on the then and there. It seems like even with the first book, there's stuff that because I was re sort of sifting through it last night and trying to
Hmm.
remember it. Um, he might have been planning the first 3 book arc from the get-go, and he's
Mm,
trying to sow the seeds for the end of the
Yeah.
saga, if you will,
right.
ever since the first few pages of the first book, which is strange because the books aren't that expansive, big.
Expansive.
They're not that
Yeah,
big,
they're not that big.
so they're not
Like
that
these
long. So
nuts.
there's these those dangly bojangles.
There you go.
But there's not a lot of time for him to really get into everything
Hmm.
throughout the course of the what is it 200 pages or some shit. God damn it.
Yeah.
And so it either feels rushed, which it felt to me for the most part. The entire plot of the first book felt rushed,
Yes.
Hmm.
especially in the latter stages, but also like
Oh yeah.
pretty much from where he meets Sharaj Shah or whatever the
Whatever the fuck her
wizard's
name
name
is.
is.
Shirasha, yeah.
Sherry. He meets
Sure.
Sherry. He
Sherry.
meets
Sherry
Sherry
the
in the
wizard.
jungle, but Sherry the wizard.
Fuck me.
Um, but yeah, so also what I really want to point out is that there is a tendency for Lynn Carter, who I don't
Mm.
know of his free time and hobbies and everything, but he really likes to give people concussions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes.
the barroom brawl ends with Thongor. getting a big ass concussion, and I think
Yep.
it's the first one he wakes up after with a ringing head, like
Yeah.
with an aching head. Afterwards, he just, I don't know, he just cures his own CTEs and just carries on with his life, as do
Fine.
most of the other characters who keep getting concussions throughout the course of the three books, which
Yep.
is insane. But it's a good way to like cut to black,
Yeah,
I
but
Basically.
guess.
and no, it's just it drives me nuts. Another thing with that too is like Conan, he might get knocked out every now and again. He might get captured every now and again. But
Hmm.
this theme happens like every 20 pages, it feels like.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And across both of the books I've read, I'm like, why does he keep getting captured? This is boring.
Yeah.
because he has to skip. He doesn't know how to link. Uh,
And that's kind of the thing, right? This is one of the overall complaints that I have with this, because Lynn Carter, he knows how to put words together so that they don't sound absolutely terrible, but the man is not. He doesn't know how to structure a novel for shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
he has set pieces, but he can't link them together properly, I think.
Exactly. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon at this point, right? We have to cut to black over here, so we literally bonk him on the head so he goes unconscious. And then,
The
yeah,
role
just
of
like you.
Thongor will from now on be played by Kevin Sorbo.
Oh God,
And
no.
that's doing a disservice to Kevin Sorbo.
I don't know who you're doing a disservice to at this point, because honestly, I
Oh
think it's
man.
more of a disservice to Thongor, honestly. But we'll be talking about Kevin Sorbo in another podcast, maybe. But
Yeah,
like,
all right.
another thing is about the capturing thing. Like, these motherfuckers get captured like 3 different times
It's
every single
crazy.
in the
Yeah.
first book only.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just constantly, it's like, hey, we've done a thing, bonk,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we get captured again. It's like, can
Move
we
set pieces.
literally, because why? Because plot needs to go to the next location, and I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know how.
Yeah.
And it's really noticeable and really fucking annoying.
So this is because the barroom brawl ends with, so it takes place because he won a bet with one of the,
Mhm.
is it Otars,
Yeah,
The auto,
Doubtars or whatever.
which
yes.
is a
Yeah.
leader of 100 people or
Uh-huh.
50 people, whatever.
I think
It's
100.
up
There's
there.
Yeah, there's Otars and Daltars and
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
that sort of stuff. So he wins a bet. The chief Otar guy gets angry, doesn't want to pay up. They
Mm.
scuffle, and eventually he kills the chief. He then gets put into jail, gets helped out by his buddy Thermos,
Who will not be
Therm,
returning.
Thermostat.
Thermostat,
Uh,
yeah.
and then he kills a couple guards, steals this newfangled floater contraption that nobody knows how to operate because there's one
Mm-hmm.
prototype in existence. Also, rereading it, it's 20 feet long. That's barely a fucking dinghy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was thinking this is a giant fucking ship of war, and no, it's
Oh,
like 20
it's a
feet
dinghy.
long. It's
It's
a
a
fucking
floating
dinghy.
dinghy.
It's a
Yeah.
floating dinghy.
Don't they call it like the Nemidus?
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
has
it
it has
literally
a
no,
name.
because he floats off to the fucking next location, right? And he said, and literally it's
He
introduced as
sleeps.
the ship, which is now called the Nemesis, and that's it. Like, okay, fine,
Oh,
just
that's it. It
like
really says that?
I'm
I
it
think I
pretty
skipped
sure.
literally
past
just
that.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Okay.
This is word then, and one of the characters brackets Bard. Like that's the level we're operating at.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome
Uh,
stuff. So
but
yes,
but
so
you
so he
skipped over
sleeps.
one
Oh
important
yeah, go
thing
ahead.
in the barroom brawl. He murders the guy after he showed him or gave him the opportunity to end it
Yeah,
with honor, right? Because he
that's
Yeah.
needs
fair.
to
That's
know
fair.
that hero protagonist is a hero protagonist.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now we
Oh, and
can continue.
also as he's going to steal the
Mm-hmm.
future Nemesis, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a pet peeve, but he goes up a tower and he takes his boots off to climb using his toes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
As somebody who does rock climbing, you would want anything on your toes. Even socks are better than actually trying to. Okay, he's going up a tower, so it's maybe not, his boots didn't fit into the cracks between the yeah, bricks or whatever, but that was just a pet peeve. That's just me being pedantic. I was like, really? He just takes his boots off? Why?
I mean,
Anyway,
I think the theme of this is that Lynn Carter doesn't really know how people work.
Yes, yes. One thing I want to mention with it being called
Mm,
the Nemidus or whatever, in my
yeah.
brain, that makes me think that he purposely tried to link that to like Numidia from the
Numidia.
Conan. So
Yeah. Is that
Obviously.
where does he meet Taurus of Numidia? The Tower of the Elephant?
yes,
Is it? The
yes.
thief? Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
The Tower of the Elephant
So,
by a much better writer.
Much, much better.
Yeah.
that's a different podcast.
These parallels will keep coming.
Yes.
Um,
So he steals the floater, which is actually called a floater,
uh-huh.
because this book
Don't
is
think
shit.
about it too much.
Yeah. And in order to get to the next spot in the action, he sleeps,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Falls
Yep.
asleep. The rotors, which are manually wound,
Yep. It's a
unwind.
wind-up ship.
It's a wind-up floating ship, which
Yep.
flies because it's caked or coated in
Eurylium?
something
Unobtainium.
Erlium, I think.
Early?
Unobtainium, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
literally
really light
unobtainium.
metal or like weightless metal
Uh-huh.
that I guess works against the other stuff on the ship to keep it level, because otherwise it just keeps going up.
hmm
So it's very carefully weighted by this dude who made the prototype. And yeah, so Thongor figures out how to operate the forward, backward, because they're nicely labeled. I think that
Yeah.
that's mentioned.
Very
Yeah.
Everything
clearly.
is very clearly labeled.
He figures it all out in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's got like
He-
post-its on it.
No, he figures it out in the background. We don't even get a paragraph explaining how he figures it out.
Yeah, we get told what the rotors do, and then
Mm.
he's like, and Thongor figures it
Did
out.
it. And Thongor did it.
He
How?
does
He
this,
just did it.
and
Don't
then
ask
he
questions.
moves up. Yeah.
Exactly.
So when he wakes up, he's over the jungles of Chush,
Yeah.
which this is another thing. Like everything sounds like Howard. There's
Um,
Chush, Valkarth. There's all these, lithe, uncouth, thrice damned. Gorm, who fucking
yeah.
sounds like Crom,
Uh-huh.
pretty much.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah. Also, is there Cam? Is there a thing about, because it's not been a thing for 3 books? It's just a neat detail. Is there a thing in Sword and Sorcery about golden eyes, or is that just a?
Hmm. Not that I
Because I
can
thought,
think of.
oh, it's because it's in the first few pages,
Yeah.
oh, he's got weird strange golden eyes, and he says this several times during
Yeah.
the book. His strange golden eyes, dude. Why are they strange? I know they're strange because they're fucking golden, but if you keep bringing them up, like have something to go with that,
This will not be explained.
This will not be explained in the current books. Yeah.
Nope.
But yet he'll explain like in minute detail about random like city states and things that I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. And that don't really come up until late in the saga, I guess.
Like he's very random with when he chooses to explain anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
And
annoying.
even later when stuff does come up and you're like, "Oh, I've actually heard of this before." You still haven't heard much, and it still doesn't come into play much. Like you don't get to delve any of those cities at
Mhm.
any real point in time. There's
Nope.
a few confrontations between large armies, but that's about it
And
in
Yeah.
terms of.
another thing that like a comparison to Howard is like whenever you see these cities in the Conan saga, like you get to see the people on the streets and like the culture and this and that. I don't know what
Yeah.
any of these cultures are like
Yeah,
Nope.
at
yeah.
all.
You don't. Throughout 3 books, you don't. You never
Yeah,
do.
exactly. And
But there's not
that's
really.
that's the thing. Like all of this stuff is I can't even call it set dressing because it's not even that. I don't know what the set looks like. I don't know what the people look like or what they're doing. We're in such a hurry to go from next location to next location that who the fuck are these people? It's like, oh, he was the Sark of Plapla. I'm like, what does this even mean?
Yeah,
Who
what
gives a
is
shit?
yeah, what is a sark? What is
Yeah,
any of this?
what is any of it?
What? Why is any of this?
Why is any of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Right.
only like real thing that you get is that like there's these cults, these yellow druids and these red
Mm-hmm.
druids that are like
Yeah,
manipulating
but
things
that's
behind the scenes and like
Yeah.
the
The,
only difference between them, the color of their robes.
yeah,
the Technicolor druids. That's what
It's
this
the,
is.
it's
yeah.
the Teletubby druids.
It's like, oh, they're worshiping like chaos, and whatever chaos
Yeah.
is very vague.
Yeah, there's
Um,
whatever facets of chaos. There's like 20
yeah.
fucking gods or
So
whatever.
remember when I said we would come back to Michael Moorcock?
Hmm.
This is the thing, because as far as I know, right, the word on the street, the Warhammer street, is that Michael Moorcock came up with this cosmology of chaos, right? Because back me up with this, Cam. It wasn't a thing in Howard necessarily, right?
Right,
Uh,
Howard's like darkness stuff is very much Cthulhu mythos stuff.
Hmm.
exactly, right. It's always the elder gods and stuff. We need to stop saying and stuff as well.
Yep,
But
and stuff.
in stuff. What's his name? Carter, right? He brings in chaos, which, as far as I know, is basically just lifted from Elric. Because none of the other
May well
sword and
be.
sorcery ones are doing this, right? So he specifically mentioned the Dark God or Demon of Chaos, and I'm thinking, okay, well, the Warhammer people were clearly taking notes at this point.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah. And like I don't know if we can't prove it necessarily, but again, Elric was published in early '60s, and this came out in '65. So
He was probably more or less marginally aware of it.
yeah,
Just
um,
like what's his face, the Witcher guy, Sapkowski. He's
yeah,
like, no, I've never read anything. We were behind the Iron Curtain. We didn't get news over here. Ooh, Dark Ages, Neanderthal, googa googa.
we didn't know
yeah.
But
anything about a white wolf with white hair who's got a magic sword.
yeah. No, it's totally not fucking Moorcock. It's fine. He's not sardonic. He doesn't have a magic sword.
But at
To-
least
totally
Sapkowski
different
managed
character.
to do his own world building
Yeah, no.
because he's a much better writer.
I do I'm giving him shit, but I do like my
Yeah,
Sapkowski. So
well, he deserves some of the shit that we're giving him. But anyway,
yeah.
we're not
One
talking
thing
about him now.
I will
hmm
mention about Elric though, there is another Elric connection to like sword and sorcery in general though, and
hmm
that is the Marvel Conan the Barbarian comics. Um,
Oh,
there
the
is
newer
no,
one?
the
Yeah,
old.
well, 'cause old ones.
Yeah. So back in the 70s or the 80s, whenever this issue came out, I don't remember which one it was. It's early in it though. I think it's like in the 20s, issue 20 something. And
Thought it was 1920s. I'm like, what the?
so
Yeah.
like Elric actually meets Conan.
Oh,
What?
So really these chaos beings kind of sort of retroactively exist in this universe. Like it's in a different dimension that Elric comes from.
I reject
hmm.
this canon.
So it's
I'm
all pulp is all pulp is one universe.
apparently, yeah. Well, you know
It's
what?
the MCU before the MCU.
Yes.
Marvel also did a crossover with Star Trek, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Uh,
Ew.
yes, well, I don't accept the idea that the Hyborian Age comics that they did are part of
Hmm.
616 because Roy Thomas specifically said that they weren't, and then Marvel just did their own thing with it anyway.
Hmm.
All of this is fucking meaningless anyway.
Yes, we're on a tangent. I'm on a tangent.
That's
We are
fine. It's
we
fine.
are we are on nerdiness scale
Ink.
up, yeah, just off the charts.
Yeah. All right, where
Um,
were we?
I
Which
think
is
we're
probably
over
what
the
Lynn Carter says every time he starts writing again.
we were floating over the jungle.
Yes.
And the rotors turn
And
off because you have to
the
wind them.
rotors turn off. Yes, and he forgot to wind them, and we're immediately introduced to what he literally calls the second most dangerous animal in Lemuria. And
Yes.
not two paragraphs later, oh no, there's the most dangerous animal in Lemuria.
I mean, it's when you introduce the second most dangerous, like there's no real way to go than up from there, right?
Oh, we'll come back to that. We'll come
No.
back to that. Because just, I mean, at this point, it's like literally, what are we doing? It's like, hey, look, here's a cool thing, and now here's another cool thing. Why is this thing cool? Shut up!
Yes.
Enjoy the cool thing.
Exactly.
Look, it's big. It's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
In our world, it would be known as a dinosaur,
it's
as a
literally like,
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
yeah, like the man. I don't know what he's trying to build on here, or not even build, but reference, because it's essentially, you know what a dragon is. I ain't gotta explain shit to you, okay?
Pretty
Just
much.
roll with it. And like later when he gets into the arena after he's captured for what, the third time at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like it's not even described. What does the arena look like? It doesn't fucking look.
It's listen, you know what an arena looks like.
You've seen Spartacus, alright? I ain't gonna explain this shit to you.
You've seen Spartacus yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
pretty much.
fresh. It's pretty much fresh. Yeah.
And
Also,
yeah.
he wakes up.
Mhm.
There's these are they the dwarks or
The dorks, yeah.
the
The
dwarf
pterodactyls.
pterodactyls? Yeah.
Oh, the flying ones? Those are the
Yeah.
pterodactyls. I forgot what they're fucking called.
That doesn't
Isn't it
matter.
dwarks?
Lizard
Aren't those the
keeps calling them.
Yeah.
No,
Well.
the dwark doesn't actually fly, so
Oh, the
it's,
dwark is the big dino thing.
yeah,
T-Rex.
it's like
Yeah, the T-Rex
it's
shows how much I care.
pretty much. I mean, they're called dragons, and they're kind of, as far as I know, like Howard's dragons, which are flightless, just giant
Flightless. Yeah.
lizards essentially.
Yeah.
So dinosaurs, yeah.
So he fights off two of the flying things, or is it
He-
one?
He kills one with a bow, right?
Kills one with a bow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bow that he
Mhm.
tried out that was,
Chekhov's bow.
luckily luckily deposited on the
Mhm.
side of the, like, on the wall of one of the cabin of
Yeah,
the Nidus.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, the captain keeps his, like, rifle there in other stories. It's like, well,
Exactly.
he's got the
Yeah.
bow there, so.
Lynn Carter is a hunting aficionado.
And
But
yeah, I
yeah.
mean that kind of, yeah, is essentially like, you've seen pirate movies, right? You know what this is like.
You know what a cabin's like.
Yeah. And speaking of the bow, it gets shot once and will never come back again.
When it drops off the side, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it literally
just drops
drops
it.
from the ship.
Never
During
to be
the-
recovered.
During the battle, during
Mhm.
which he is knocked unconscious again.
Yep.
Yes.
Concussion count number 2.
There we go. Number 2. We are like 3 chapters into this book.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And this
He's got
dude,
two.
he got knocked unconscious by a giant flying lizard, fell
Yes.
to the ground on in a jungle,
Yep.
right? And then woke up and just walked it off.
Woke up and started running it off.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
My
Because he
apologies.
started running from the big thing, the
Yes.
T-Rex, and running and running and running, and then he sort of started slowing down.
After we'll come back to his running skills towards the end of the book, because this is some bullshit. But yes, and I like that it said that he cut the dragon, right?
Yeah.
And-
So he gives it a bit of steel, because he
Mm.
still has a sword with him. The sword didn't
Yeah.
fall off as he was dangling from the underside of the ship,
Don't
head
worry about
down.
Don't worry
It's
about
fine.
just secure in his little,
it's all
like,
good.
back, holster for it, his sheath.
But yes,
Yeah,
he's got a
yeah.
quick draw holster. For
Yes.
For the
If only they had a word for that
That's
in this
amazing.
universe. Speaking of swords and rifles, I mean bows being mounted above people's cabins, I want to just quick parallel to the fact that we're combining Lynn Carter of Mars with Conan the Snarkarian and all of this, and everything that's fantasy here, because the Otar guy, his weapon is a rapier.
Oh,
After he
yeah.
specifically says that this is pre-Bronze Age, right? And my note literally reads, rapiers in this Bronze Age economy? For fuck's sake! I mean, what are we doing? And also, then, like, his sword is made of steel, and if you read Howard, right, steel is a big thing over there. It's a whole plot line to getting steel weapons. But here, every Tom, Dick, and Thongor has one.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. So here's my head canon of this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So the Lemurian continent sinks eventually, And most of those people in the Howard stories come from Lemuria, and they move into the mainland, and they settle, Hyrcania and all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
All their technology was likely lost whenever the islands were sunk during the Great Cataclysm.
This is true.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I'm retconning his stories because there's no other way for them to work.
Yeah, I mean, the advanced civilization thing is a theme in a lot of these fantasy books.
Well,
So,
they did have flying ships, which we
which, yeah.
we don't have wind-up flying ships today.
Correct.
Mhm.
But if they were
You know.
flying, they probably wouldn't have been destroyed, but whatever, they were destroyed.
Well,
Well,
they
they
had to come
were.
crashing down at some point, right?
Oh, they did. They did.
Somehow. I mean, there's flying lizards.
There's a thing in book 3.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
not there
okay.
yet,
Okay.
so okay.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Yes. One of us has
Just
the gift of foresight.
foresight, yeah, foreshadowing.
Yeah. hmm So anyway, this is the point where the wizard shows up and throws a pack of opium into the face of the dragon.
Who goes snoozy?
Well, but
Snooze.
first, Thongor is captured by a vampire plant.
Oh, the vampire plant, right. It started
Is he
sucking him
captured
off.
when the dragon gets next to him, or does he like keep peeling shit off of him? Oh, I think he has his back to one of the trees,
Yeah, and the tree starts like, yeah.
and the
Devouring him.
tree starts, yeah, because there are these vampire plants that, oh, I loved the effect on these,
Mm.
because or is it this one, or am I confusing it with another book where as they drain you, the plant's petals that are white become red.
Yes, I think it's
Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
So
It's
that
the
was
one
a
cool bit of
nice
world building that we get in this book.
that was pretty fun. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But then he cuts it with his steel sword.
Steely
Uh,
sword.
and then the dragon catches up to him. Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum.
He
We
slashes a
don't
couple
have.
times at the dragon.
He slashes a couple times at the dragon, but we don't have time to set up any kind of stakes or consequences to literally anything, because here comes the wizard with a bag of opium, because we need to move on to the next fucking location.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't this angry when I read it, but I'm getting angry now.
I'm
Um,
sorry for dragging the both of you into this.
oh,
I
no,
was
it's
going to read
fine.
these eventually. I have like some of the pastiches of these pastiches. Like there's like
There's
young
really.
Thongor novels that
Oh
were
yeah,
written
yeah,
by
yeah.
other
There's
people.
No, no,
Yeah.
say it ain't so.
he also has like a sort of Thongor and then Thongor against the pirates for some reason, because the third book is called Thongor against the gods,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
and then it goes to Thongor fighting some fucking pirates. I mean, what
Like,
the fuck?
Yeah.
that's a bit of a downgrade. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
mind saying.
just a tad, you know.
I mean, well, this book already has a fucking world-ending plot, so
Yeah, let's talk about that, because he meets the wizard
Mhm.
and he's a little bit he's wary of wizards. He's not afraid of magic, but he doesn't like sorcerers. So so he's a bit wary of the long bearded Gandalf that shows up.
And that wizard is from like a city of wizards, which is also a
Yes.
thing that pops up in Howard, but whatever.
Yes, and he's heard of the wizard, even in the far north of his frozen tundra, Conan,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
where he grew up. He's heard of Sherry the wizard, and Sherry takes him onto his is it a Xanth? Is this one a Xanth?
Yes,
No,
yes.
yes, the
Because
Xanth, yes.
I keep getting them mixed up because so I'm trying to prep.
Because nothing means anything.
It's fine. I'm trying to prep a session of
Oh, yeah.
Barbarians of Lemuria,
Mhm.
and that RPG is based upon this book, but everything in it is different in terms of name. So when it comes to cities and creatures and everything, so it's very similar, but also its own thing, so that it doesn't infringe on the IP, I guess. And my head is mush.
So this is literally, we have Conan at home.
Yeah,
The-
it's Wish Order Conan,
Conan.
pretty much. Yeah. For Romanians, it's Conan after a month in Vaslui. So
Conan off of Timu, yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
That's
Shane.
sick. Shane.
Um, So
Actually, before
they
I forget, hold on,
yeah.
because you made a point about literally, yeah, the from the north thing. I want to underline just how derivative this whole thing is, because not only is Gorm the guy's god,
Hmm.
which is Crom with you squint, but it specifically says that he's a barbarian from the north, and his main god is the thunder god, and if you do well in battle, the battle maidens come and
Will
take you,
come
but
and
this
get you.
guy's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
medieval. And I'm like, I mean, for fuck's sake, this is just, we're not
Have
even
some originality. Yeah.
like, yeah, like, I
And
know.
also he wears a loincloth and the
Yeah,
battle harness, which I
of
guess
course.
it's different. It's different. He's got a battle harness and golden eyes,
Well,
right?
the battle
He's
harness is just John Carter. They all wear harnesses.
Oh,
there you
fair
go.
enough.
Yeah, because he needs a quick draw holster for his sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and
He's
like,
got a
okay,
mane of black hair,
and it's
square
another
cut.
thing, right? He's a barbarian from the north, but he specifically describes it as having brown skin, right?
Well, he's been
This
in the
will
sun a lot. Okay.
this will come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's his bronzed, muscled
It's, I mean,
physique.
at this point, it's, yeah,
Thews, yes.
it's not even like, okay, so because when, what's his name, Howard described Conan, he specifically wanted him to be, a not European barbarian, because he was saying, listen, my friend Howard, what's his name, Lovecraft, is a bit racist, and I don't want to be associated with that, right?
But I
So,
do like petting his cat.
well, and at this point, I'm thinking
Hello there,
Carter
Mr.
just,
Redacted.
hey, Carter basically just took a look at the Frank Frazetta illustrations of Conan and thought, yeah, I'll have me one of those, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's get through this fucking thing.
It's been
Oh,
47 minutes and we've talked about
Three
like
chapters.
3 chapters
three
of this
I
book.
chapters.
mean, the rest of the book can really go by in a flash, pretty
Honestly,
much.
this is the majority of my notes at any rate.
Yeah.
Because
So
yeah, go on.
the
Xamph.
Xanth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a banth in Barbarians of Lemuria, which is why my brain is mush, right?
Fuck's sake.
So they ride this giant
Mm-hmm.
beast to Sherry's cave,
Mm.
where Conan gets a bit of Thonan
Well,
gets a bit of a crash course in history on the Dragon
Kings, yeah.
Kings, and learns that there's a world-ending event coming in but 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So it was really fucking lucky that Sherry found him when he did, because he was looking for a swordsman to be his champion.
Yeah,
And at that point, I stopped taking the book seriously.
yeah. What was his plan if Thongor hadn't showed up? Was he just
Yeah.
gonna sit here for the next 2 weeks, being like, "Man, I wish a warrior would walk over here"?
Oh well, guess we'll die.
Yep,
It's
fuck it.
that's like the guy says that he's got like some kind of weird spyglass magic thing, and he's scouring the world for warriors. And like, oh look, this dude just showed up in my backyard. Guess we'll go scoop him up. It's like, but but why? I mean, you know why? Because the plot needs to happen. But
Yes, well,
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Thongor needs to be embroiled in a larger-than-life conflict, which will culminate in the third book with an even larger-than-life conflict.
Oh, I
Again,
cannot
like
wait.
Or might, I don't know.
if we're talking in D&D terms, literally, this is the point where the GM just fucking gives up and says, "All right, you're not invested in the world building. Fine, here's a fucking world-ending plot. Go follow the wizard on his dragon dinosaur mount fucking to his
It's a
cave."
The rest of the book is a giant fetch quest.
Oh,
Yes.
The rest of
oh
the
yeah.
book is just go to points A, B, and C to fight the BBEG that
Yeah.
rests at point D. Like
And
that's
It is
fucking it.
so tedious.
Yeah.
uh,
And there's no like this would have been an opportunity to world build, right? To go to
yeah.
3 different places and do 3 different things and engage with the culture and the environments and all of that stuff. This would have been a great opportunity to actually build something. But nope, it
No, we
just
don't do
No,
that.
no,
yeah,
we don't do that here.
we don't do
It's
that here.
literally the only difference between Patanga, Katanga, and Watanga, whatever the fuck the name of these cities are, is the color of the druid's robe.
Yeah,
Yes.
the color of the robes. That's it.
That is it. They all have the same titles. They're all snarks, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is fucking it. Yeah. No description of the cities, nothing.
I think I made a note in book 2 that Patanga could well have been called Poontanga because it's where Sumia, his love
Yeah.
interest, resides, and that's the only special thing about that place.
It's the only.
So-
Oh god, I have notes about this.
The siege of fucking Poontanga.
Yeah.
Shall we move
Right.
on to his third concussion?
Yeah, please do.
So this is the point where they go to the first city. What's the fucking name? Forget about
I
it. It's
don't know.
Cthulhu with the owls, whatever.
It's not Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu.
Yeah, exactly.
It's thereabouts.
So let's remember this sequence of events. He repels from the flying ship,
Mhm.
goes, gets the MacGuffin, sends the MacGuffin to the ship flies off, he gets bonked on the head, goes unconscious.
Ding ding ding.
Yep.
This will literally be repeated in the next city. Beat for fucking beat.
Word for word.
Word for word. And since you mentioned Poontown, let me just bring it back because one of my notes is, and I know I'm the only one who cares about this, but literally the first female-ish character in this book is a fucking snake monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's only two
a
female characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
'Cause,
woman-faced
yeah.
snake things, the Nagas.
Slith or whatever.
No, they're called slorgs, okay? They're
Slorgs!
called
Oh, I'm sorry. The slith are the plants that suck you dry,
Yeah.
I think.
Whatever.
Yeah. Slith.
Slorg.
Fuck it. Nobody cares. Yeah, slorg. Like,
I think he tripped and bit his tongue, and he's like, Florth! Ah! Hey!
Wait a second, I should take a note.
Shit. Let me trip again. Slorth! Oh, there it is.
Yes. And my next note about the arena thing
Mhm.
is, remember when I mentioned we've met the second most dangerous animal and then the first most dangerous in 2 paragraphs, right?
Yes.
It literally says, oh no, it's the Zemadar, the most deadly animal in Lemuria. Motherfucker, what about...
It's deadly, not dangerous.
Yeah. It's just,
Oh,
There's a difference, you know? Because
excuse me.
Chihuahuas bite more often than pit bulls, but you wouldn't want to fucking be bit by a pit bull. That's the difference.
I see. I take it back. This is perfect world building.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm a bit fuzzy, so you guys take this because I don't remember what happens. Does he gets rescued from the arena, but does he meet somebody else at this point, or is he still on his own?
Yeah,
in the arena,
he
he meets
Carm Carvis?
yes, not
There we go.
Tars Tarkus, but Carm
No.
Carvis, yes.
Yeah.
my God.
Because he's like of a minor noble family, and he's supposed to be like executed or some nonsense because the current leader of city and whatever color of druid are going to kill him or something.
Yeah.
And
The druid who's actually behind the whole thing.
yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the leader is like slothy and
And,
not slithy, not
not
slorthy.
slithy,
He's
not
slothy.
slorgy. No, slothy.
Yeah.
And we know that Carm Carvis is a good guy because he's introduced as being handsome.
Blonde. Oh,
well,
Yeah,
Same.
because it's literally everyone in this book that we're supposed to root for is described as handsome or beautiful or noble looking, and everyone else is a fucking caricature of a disgusting extra on a set.
yeah, yeah.
well, all of the people in this book are characters because none of them have any sort of depth.
True. Take it away, Cam. Tell us what fucking happened with this goddamn book.
They're in the arena and they decide that they're best friends now, and they're going to fight whatever the big creature is that they send out. Is this the most deadly creature, the most dangerous? I don't know.
Yes, this is the deadliest, not the most dangerous.
Yes. And Thongor kills it easily because he can.
Because Thongor, he
yeah.
rides it and then
Because he's the protagonist.
Yeah, he does plot armor, kills it, and then he throws his sword into the chest of the Sark, and then he falls into the arena, which is fun, but like also kind of cliche. But I guess this might be before that became cliche.
Again, you've seen Spartacus. You know how this goes.
Right. And then,
But
it looks like all hope is lost, but then the wizard shows up.
Yeah,
Literally.
forgot about the wizard. Remember the wizard? He's
Remember
been
the wizard?
hovering in the fucking ship all this time.
Yeah, just watching them fight this beast in the arena, like this could have killed them and ruined his quest.
Listen, he's been cooped up in his cave for like 20 years waiting for the one. He's
Yeah.
been waiting for Neo to show up for 20 years or however long, and
Yeah.
this is his first piece of action that he's had since he threw opium in the dragon's face.
And
You're
He's
right.
like, all right,
yeah,
let me see if this guy actually has what it takes to save the world. Like that's my headcanon.
that's
Sure,
headcanon.
that sounds
My
good.
Why
headcanon-
he's been hanging up there.
My headcanon is that he just doesn't get pay-per-view in his cave.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He needed the MacGuffin. He needed the Palantir
Yes. Yes.
to get like the WWE pay-per-views. He's been
Well-
pining for WrestleMania 1 forever. So.
We should probably specify that they came to this city to get the star medal. You can take another drink for that one.
Yes. Now, is this star medal like in the appendix of these books? There's like Lemurian words.
There's a bit of there's a fair bit of shit being described. The appendix get better with book 2.
Yes, but
As
I'm in
does
book
the
2's
timeline.
appendix. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It,
Book 1's like,
is
shit
it
happens.
supposed to be jazzite,
Uh,
which is the metal of Lemuria, like how Orichalc is the metal of Atlantis? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't
could
know.
but
It might be its own thing, to be honest.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
it's a piece of
It's-
meteor, right?
Yeah.
Listen. It's a star medal because Howard had star medal. This
Yes.
is the only reason it exists.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, wizard guy shows up, drops the rope, which they climb up and easily escape the arena.
Mhm.
Here's my friend Sherry. Here's my friend Carvus. Yeah,
Yeah, we're best buds now.
we're all one big family.
And it's like, we can drop you off, like, to do this and that. He's like, no, I'm going to join you on your quest to save the world.
Exactly.
Because Conan is my best friend now.
Pretty much.
We're in this together.
I mean,
What? There's only one special sword we can build, and only one guy to wield it? Nah, it's fine. I'll just be around.
I'll be his wingman.
I'll use
Yeah.
my blonde wig.
His
Yeah.
rapier. But I mean, in fairness, guy has fuck all else to do at this point with his life. So
That's
Pretty much. Pretty
sure.
much.
But
He would've died.
my note here is we must go to Patanga. Next paragraph. They arrived in Patanga.
Yeah. Well, he said there's shit. There's I don't know if I took note of this. What is it? Is it to conceive of a plan for Thongor was to attempt it or to do it or something like that?
Yes, to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. To conceive of a plan to Thongor was to do it or some shit
Yeah.
like that. But that's literally how that's like Lynn Carter. That's his motto.
He
You know,
is Thongor.
He thought of a book, so he did it. Doesn't matter how. Don't think about it for too long. I did a book. Did you write it? No, I just did it.
No, he is Thongor.
He is.
Yeah,
it's a
because
subject
you know how Thongor gets all of the head trauma? That's why these books are bad.
word.
Lynn Carter
Oh my
has
God.
CTE.
Oh no. This explains everything.
Lynn Carter is well known for wearing shoes 2 sizes too big and falling around a lot everywhere he went. So
I mean, the shoes thing might make sense because this is a fucking clown factory.
wow. Yes.
Yeah.
But
That was,
anyway,
was a good
I'll
point.
I'll let Cam tell us what happens in the city of Patanga, but let me tell you why I remember the name of Patanga, because this is a quote from the fucking book.
Okay.
Daughter of the leader of Patanga, princess of Patanga, in the dungeons of Patanga?
Wait,
That
where
is
did you say we were?
verbatim on page 85 of this book.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cam, tell us what happens in Patanga.
So they show up at Patanga, where they have
Uh-huh.
to take the star medal and put it in the forge of the Yellow Druids of Yamath, I think is what they call them.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we would call them your mama.
Yeah. And they go there, and of course they figure out that they're there, and they fight some people, and then Thongor gets hit in the head and knocked out and captured, and so does
Is this
the
number
wizard.
4?
This is our third concussion.
4,
4, even.
right? Yeah, it's the 4th one.
Oh, maybe it doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Oh, it's
yes.
the bar, the hanging limply from the rope, the getting captured to be thrown into arena, and then this one.
Oh yeah. Oh,
4.
this one
Oh, this-
actually, the wizard's not knocked out by you getting hit in the head. There's like some sort of vapor in the air that knocks the
It's-
wizard out.
Yes, yeah,
Ah.
they hit him with the reverse dragon opium.
Yes, but Thongor is able to, like, with his supreme, physiology.
Armor.
Racial superiority, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's, yeah.
He's able to not be knocked out by that, but I'm pretty sure he gets hit in the head here.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good assumption to make on
Mm.
every other chapter. I'm pretty sure Thongor gets hit in the head here. What chapter is it? Doesn't matter. It's a 50% chance. Pretty
It
much.
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wake up in the dungeons with
As they do.
Sumia, the princess of Patanga.
hmm
In the dungeons of Patanga.
Yes, and she is the daughter of the Sark of Patanga.
Correct. Lest we forget.
The rightful Sark of Patanga is
correct.
being usurped
By
by
the chief yellow druid whose name doesn't matter.
yeah,
Nobody cares.
Yellow.
Hello.
Chief Yellow.
Yep.
And we do get some, like, magical world building in this scene.
Kinda, yeah.
Because
I have no recollection. I'm Gandalf and Moria. I have no recollection of this.
the wizard is going to try and get out of his chains, but he can't because he can't touch the sigils together on his rings.
He can't.
Yes.
He can't do the super glue interview pose with his
Yeah.
hands
Yeah, exactly.
that politicians do.
Yeah.
When they have their hands together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So apparently that's how you cast magic in this world.
It's push button to magic, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Finger to finger action. I don't
to,
fucking
to borrow a phrase from some Warhammer enthusiasts, it's I cast gun.
know.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And so there's also, I guess, a little bit of world building with the god of fire Yamath and the brass altar that they're going to be cooked on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's okay. They won't be cooked on it.
Well, obviously
Well,
not.
yeah,
But
they're
one of the
heroes.
wizards, not the wizards, one of the druids does get cooked on it because
He does.
That he does.
it's Chekhov's brazen bull, so to speak.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So.
And
this-
how do they escape this particular situation? Could you remind me?
So Thongor decides that he can just break the metal chains because iron is brittle.
It's been there for a long time. It's a damp dungeon.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
breaks out with that, starts, a fist fight that turns into a full-scale battle,
Mhm.
and then
People die.
And then
the flyer shows up with not Tars Tarkas flying it,
yeah,
who drops a rope down for them.
what did I fucking say?
Ah, I've seen this. I've seen this before. Oh,
Exactly. Beat for fucking beat.
Oh, and
Yeah.
conveniently, the sword that they forged was in the room
Ah,
where the ceremony
Yep.
was happening, so they just take it with them.
Because Sherry
And-
managed to forge the sword as, before they were gassed,
Mhm.
Yeah.
pretty much.
It's
Oh,
the-
and during
the
this
sword
time, it-
and his broadsword. Let's not forget the
That
broadsword.
too.
Hmm.
It bears mentioning that during this time, Thonan and Not Belit have been making googly eyes to one
Uh-huh.
another.
Yes, yes.
Right? They've
Yeah.
both been admiring each other.
Look, it's the only
Thews and
female
live
character in the
bosom.
book.
And she's very well described. Her like
Ah,
oval eyes and her like
White skin, pale skin.
marble white skin,
Marble
yeah,
white, there you go.
the shape of
Yeah.
her face.
the shape of her boobs and everything.
Mhm.
And like seriously, this chick gets more description than the fucking world does.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
yep. And
Uh-huh.
it piles on for 2 more books, don't worry. Because, other characters get to see her as well.
That's
Not just
true.
these
I
ones,
remember
so
that
they
in
keep
book
seeing
2.
her. Yeah, there you go. Book 2, which also debuts with a fucking concussion. But
It does. It does.
a couple of concussions, I think.
Hmm.
I think they ramped up the number of concussions in the second.
Yeah, just, what, the sequel? 2 times? Yeah,
Oh
do
yeah.
it.
Oh
Bring it
yeah.
on.
There we go.
Alright, so they
Where does the
escape.
sequel take place? In the NFL?
I mean,
They don't have those newfangled. They have like protection socks for their helmets this season.
what?
So you can opt in for one of those. It looks like a fucking mitten on top of your helmet. So if you've suffered a concussion, you can put one of those on after you get, after you're fit and you can go back in the game. So it looks like they're playing rugby with extra big special helmets
Okay.
because it makes the helmet look even bigger than it fucking is. It looks really weird, but as long as they keep him not going Aaron Hernandez, then it's fine.
Well, anyway, wish Thongor had one of those.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
He really should wear a helmet.
he really
should.
should.
At least a dunce hat.
So where are we? We've escaped Patanga. What happens next?
Yes.
So plot twist, you can't just make the sword. You have to go give the sword magical powers from an altar of the gods or some sort of nonsense.
Up some mountain someplace.
Yes.
Where? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just a really high place that they all
It's next
travel to.
location.
It's next location, and Sumia just goes with them because,
Because,
she's
she
The
likes
plot wills it.
Thongor, so
obviously.
Also, Sumia is alternately either fainting or standing up to people as the plot requires.
yes.
So there's no real consistency. So she stands up to like the usurper Sarkisian,
Sarkeesian,
/ druid combo duo whatever. But she's very fainty when it comes to like actual
Combat.
They take her.
combat.
They
I
take
guess.
her in the arena. She faints. She
Yeah.
wakes up to do some more defiance, then faints again.
Faints again.
Mm-hmm.
At least she doesn't get bonked on the head.
Yeah, she's
know.
doing her own unconsciousness.
Yeah.
But literally, girl only has two ways of being: defiance and unconscious.
And I cast faint.
Oh, and see, in order to get from Patanga to insert mountain name here, they go to sleep.
Of course.
Yeah,
On
They
the
fucking
ship.
fast track. You
all
can't.
of them.
Yeah.
They all go to sleep.
Oh, I think does the wizard stay up?
Maybe,
Nope.
I don't know.
Maybe,
No,
or maybe they just
do
all
not.
go.
They all go to sleep. And
Well,
Thongor's the first one to wake up.
you can't pass the day on a Minecraft server without all of you going to sleep
That's right.
at the same time. It doesn't work. See, Lynn Carter was a visionary.
He was.
Mojang should pay him royalties.
Yeah.
And
then what should happen on the mountaintop, Cam?
well, before they get to, like, they're there, and they're like, okay, Sherry has to go up to the mountain and go do lightning magic or something.
But he goes on his own.
Yes, because the rest of them would be, like, fried because they don't have magical wards or something.
Yeah.
Which is the first mention of that being a thing.
It's
Doesn't
fine.
matter. Doesn't matter.
You would think his
Don't worry about
magical wards would have protected him from the gas, but apparently not.
Don't worry about it.
He didn't have the right what's it called? Loadout.
The right settings.
He only has 10
Yeah.
fingers. You can only have so many rings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had the forged sword loadout, not the prevent gas getting into my lungs loadout.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's,
Yeah.
that's
true.
canon
That's
now.
true.
It's like he took
Canon.
the wrong amulet in the morning.
100%. 100%.
Makes sense.
And so,
Right.
they're standing on the mountainside in the snow or whatever, I guess. I don't know if they even describe what it looks like.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
And then a pterodactyl attacks them.
Ah,
Just a big one. A big one.
A really big one.
a bigger one.
Really big one.
I wonder where a big pterodactyl ranks on the, tier ladder of dangerous / deadly animals of Lemuria.
I would
Is
say
it?
it's probably the second most dangerous and third deadliest.
All right,
They're
we'll
called
get back to you on
groks
that.
or grax. That's what they are. They're lizard
Grax.
bugs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Grax. There we go.
that's right.
Okay.
They're called the terror of the skies. It doesn't give a ranking here on how bad they are, though, in the
Hmm.
appendix.
Well,
So.
We should
based on this book,
we should get on a Ouija board and ask Link Carter like what's the
You're
actual.
right.
there's probably a wiki article for this shit.
I
No,
don't want to read it.
the Lemuria wiki is kind of. I tried getting on shit and learning stuff about this. There's actually a fan base for this bullshit,
Oh
but
boy.
Why?
it's the
Why?
I don't know, but the wiki wasn't that detailed on almost
Mhm.
anything. It just
Oh.
verbatim takes shit from
They're
the
following
books
in
and
Link
then
Carter's
puts it there.
footsteps.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go. It's
In
thematic.
the spirit of it, yeah.
It's method acting.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, shall we?
Yeah, please do.
So he gets attacked, but they get attacked by it, and long story short, it grabs him, takes him to its nest. They think Thongor is dead. Wizard forges sword. They get on ship to go do plot. Cut back to Thongor. Thongor is in the nest. Yeah, he kills.
There's babies in the nest.
He kills the babies with the bones of other humans or something.
Or
Yep,
prey,
that's
or
exactly
whatever
it.
the
Prey.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he does some
He
sort
makes
of bullshit to get
he-
off
Yeah.
the mountain.
he makes a rope out of the innards of the babies, does he?
Yes.
No, it specifically says their hides.
Oh, they're hides. Okay,
Yeah.
so not their
So-
innards, rather their outwards.
So at this point, if we're keeping track, right, the world-ending event is hours away.
Mhm.
That's exactly what Sherry said.
Also, he had his
And-
fifth concussion.
Oh,
he had his
yeah.
fifth concussion.
'Cause
Let's
he
not
was-
forget.
Yeah, there you go.
Woke up from that, killed 3 baby lizard
With
hawk
one stone.
things with 1 stone and a bone.
Yeah.
Then
Batter up.
disemboweled them,
With the
skinned them
bone.
with the bone.
It was a jagged bone. Listen, it cracked over the head of the first baby, and then he could use the serrated edge because, as we know,
Uh-huh.
serrated edges. This was
Sure.
probably Lynn
Yeah,
Carter.
that it'll cut this fucking crocodile-ass monster thing, and then he managed to cut him into sufficient pieces to make himself a rope
Strips.
to get down the mountain.
He stripped the baby and then cut the.
Uh-huh.
It goes
Once
from
again-
the top of a mountain all the way
Uh-huh.
down.
Yes.
into the.
Yeah, and I stress, the event is hours away.
Hmm.
He's a very fast
Okay.
worker. Back in not Samaria, he could do
Uh-huh.
things like this. These civilized men wouldn't understand.
Yes.
Exactly. And then what happens to Wizard and Co?
They go to
what-
the Dragon City, and they get
Which
captured.
which is well known. The position of the. Oh, I guess it's known to the wizard, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it specifically says that it's some number of miles away, right?
Mhm.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
in
well-
the ocean, isn't it?
It's an
Yeah.
island in the middle of a giant lake or something.
Yeah,
Transsea, inner sea, or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Also,
Right.
Conan got carried off by the big pterodactyl thing a ways away before he was actually put down into the nest.
yeah. There's a
And-
great distance that he has to travel on foot within a
Mm.
couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, so the way it goes, he climbs down the mountain after skinning those things and tanning their hides.
Yep.
Then he runs away from the 4th deadliest animal in Lemuria, which is
Holy
Lynn
some
Carter.
crap.
nameless shit that jumped out of a river. What's it called? We don't have time for that right now.
Doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Doesn't matter. Goes
It's
into
the
a
Watcher in the lake.
cave. It's the Watcher. He goes into a cave.
And
to
fuck, the name escapes me. A conveniently placed cave. There we go.
a conveniently
Yes.
placed cave, which is so convenient that it literally goes to the fucking island that he has to be at.
Yeah, it goes
Yep.
under the lake and then back up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and what's the first thing he sees when he comes out? The fucking sword.
Yeah, the magic
Uh-huh.
sword is just laying there.
Yeah, because he was dropped when the his 3 amigos were captured. This was literally, if this were an RPG session, you'd have one of them skipping out on a session, and then the GM made him reappear so that the plot could continue.
Yep.
Yeah.
because his companions got captured, and then oh, but yeah, he's Gary's back. Gary's back, everyone. Hey, Gary. Yeah, you wake up in a lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you were up. You can make up some bullshit about how you got here. Can I be taken away by a bird and then put in the nest? Yeah, sure. And then can I kill the babies? Sure. Yeah, yeah. With like a bit of bone and then skin them and make strips out of their skin and then go down the side of the mountain and into a cave. Gary, what the fuck
Look,
are you
Gary,
on
we
right
don't
now?
have time. We don't have
It's
time.
It doesn't matter how you
Let's
got
just
here,
go.
Gary. You're here.
Listen, Gary, it's your head. You did whatever the fuck you wanted to do. It's fine. Let's just wrap this campaign up because it's been yeah. That's kind of how it went.
Just do the thing and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here you go.
Uh,
It's been destined that you hold this, so obviously we can't finish the campaign without you. Welcome back, Harry.
Yeah.
All right. So he takes the MacGuffin to the Dragon Kings and pretty much effortlessly
Yeah.
I don't
just
even remember how the fuck it is.
dispenses with everything and
So
everyone.
the sword becomes like the master sword in Zelda, where he starts shooting like
Oh.
lightning bolts or something out of it, or
There's a switch
fireballs
somewhere.
or something, and it's just he's just shooting. His sword becomes a gun,
I cast gun.
gun.
There you go.
and then the lizard dragon
People.
people just start getting obliterated.
Yeah, as you do.
Just mere when they were about to sacrifice Tits
Sue.
McGee, whatever her name
Yeah.
was.
Literally, that's all she is.
Basically,
It is pair of tits.
Yep.
that pair of tits who occasionally faints.
It's pair of tits. Blondie and Gandalf are rescued by Thonan.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
pretty much how the book ends.
Because they're going to sacrifice
much.
them to open up the portal to
Portal
oblivion
to
or
let
whatever.
to let the gods in again. Or
Which
something.
is again a little convenient on account of so they needed a sacrifice to open the portal, but I thought the portal was opening anyway, which is why we were in a hurry to get here.
I guess they
and-
would have had a sacrifice to make, but since they got Tits McGee,
Yeah,
they
it's
were like, hey, listen, the gods would like these tits rather than saggy old Bobby we got over here, and we're gonna sacrifice.
Yeah, we were going to sacrifice, a few of our dragon kin, but now there's humans to sacrifice, so I mean,
Yeah.
even better.
much better.
Look at how perky the sacrifice is. It's-
in my head canon, it went more like, so we've got everything assembled. Yeah, we got the dagger, cool. The altar, yes. What about the sacrifice? Yeah. and then Sherry walks in. Aha! I shall defeat you. Well, here we go.
Good God.
Something I also want to note is that at the beginning of every chapter, Lynn Carter acts like this is some sort of great, like, awesome saga of history,
Yeah.
where you have snippets of, like, the stave of Thongor and
Mhm.
the whatever the ancient Edda thing is called.
Yeah.
And
Saga of the Red Druids or whatever the fuck.
yeah, and you get all this like lore, all of this world building that means nothing because I don't know who any of these characters are or what any of this shit is talking about.
Listen, the thing about these, at least in the beginning of the book, they sort of get worse, I guess, as the book goes on.
Oh,
But
great.
for the first few chapters, no, I mean the opening, stanzas or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
But some of this shit is like some really solid Manowar lyrics. Like, for real, like for chapter 2 is like the war song of the Valkarthan swordsman, and it's like the war mates ride the iron sky. Come, brothers, either slay or die. It's like fucking Manowar, dude.
Yeah.
It is
Like, this was
100%.
really nice. Darkwing sang, each man fell. Ah, fucking.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
I was
some of them
into
are
it,
good,
you know?
and then
Yeah.
some of them are just nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of the book was nonsense.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. I mean, Cam, you pretty much summed up the whole book and world with that one line. None of this means anything and nothing matters.
yes,
There's no you're not invested in anything.
Mhm.
no,
Any character that shows up is paper thin.
Yep.
And just gets embroiled in the plot because the plot, I guess, needs more characters. Although Sumia and Carvus do next to, I mean, Sumia really does fucking nothing. Carvus brings him up of the second bind, I guess, bringing the floater in. But It's just you could have the wizard and Thonan and just
It should have been like a buddy cop,
it should
movie.
have been a buddy cop movie where Thonan's
Yeah,
stupid and he gets to learn about the world and everything, and that would have been fun. But
where every episode ends with a concussion.
That's fine.
just
That is
fade
fine.
to black.
That's
And it's like
fine.
it's one of those like 43-minute, 20 episodes per season. That's
Yeah.
like 5 seasons of concussions.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally they do like a Halloween or Christmas special, which is longer, and you get the
Two
concussion for
concussions.
because you get one for the commercial break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could you know, they could get, because he looks the part or looked the part as well. They could have gotten Chris Benoit to play Thongor.
Why not?
Too dark.
Anyway, closing thoughts on this book.
No.
Another
No.
thing that I saw, there was like a connection with like all of the connections with like the Edgar Rice Burroughs Barsoom saga. Is that
Yeah.
like the technology level of Lemuria is really in line with the technology level of Mars. It's just they don't have radium guns.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
The tall aliens on Mars are basically the blue skin giants that show up
yes,
later on.
yes.
Right, yeah.
That's fair.
And
that
then you have
actually makes
the
sense.
floaters, and you have everybody wearing the harnesses, and you have all the city names and the people names are Martian sounding nonsense, and like
Lynn Carter stumbling and falling.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like the lotus
Scrabble board, reveal your secrets.
all the different like creatures. All of it just sounds like it should be set on another planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he was like trying to, you know how it's tied in with Conan. I don't know if he was trying to tie this in with like Barsoom as well and be like, look, you know, both the Barsoom and Jasum, you know, came about at similar times and they have similar tech, or is he just a hack? I don't know.
I'm gonna go with he's just.
Yeah, I'm erring towards the second one, but also with Howard and with Conan when he was trying to when he built everything, it's very grounded in, like, you know, where I hope this is a place. I don't have my map here. Is Afghanistan a place in
Yes.
Conan's thing?
Yeah.
Yes. So you know
Yeah.
where that is, like instantly,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And Kitai and all of that.
Yeah, I can
stuff.
picture this map.
Yeah. Like you've got the fucking Nordheim.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
wonder where that is, you know?
Yeah.
So you can drop these names in Conan's mythos and have people gain knowledge from the name alone, because it's, you know, it's clear what they're trying to do. But Lynn Carter has just dropped the Scrabble board and come up with shit is nah, bruh.
Yeah.
And also another thing that took me
Yeah.
out of it was the way that every animal is linked to a real world animal, and he takes it's like a rhinoceros. It's like
Oh, I know.
T-Rex. It's like don't fucking do that, man. Just
Yeah.
show, don't tell. It's fine. You don't have to be precise.
Either come up with a new creature
Mhm.
that's based on a real one, or just call them a T-Rex, call them a rhino. That's fine.
Yeah. Just you know,
Howard
deal away
uses
with
horses, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Horses
No,
are
we
fine,
gotta
bro.
no, a horse is too mundane. We gotta have a fucking Xanth.
Well,
What's a
It-
Xanth?
It's
Oh,
it does
like a rhino.
It's a rhino.
specifically say in the appendices somewhere that like horses haven't like evolved yet.
Oh,
Sure.
sure.
Let's go with that.
Um,
Lynn Carter has never seen a horse IRL confirmed.
Also, something that I find absolutely wild, and it's only in book 2, I think. I don't think this is in book 1. In like the appendices area.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's before the appendices. I don't remember exactly.
But
But
the
he
timeline, or
No, he has like, is it on the? Oh, here we go. He has sources in the appendices, like,
is this the first book or the second?
second book. So on the entry for the Larth, you know, it's got this nonsense about sea dragon crap, but then it says here, the fossil specimens were recently discovered by Warburton on Sumatra, an island which did not exist in the Lemurian age. And that is where the
That's-
sea of Yashkin Chun is.
Sure,
And-
sure.
and then-
that's where that was. I'm glad we
Uh-huh.
clarified
Then
that.
you have the Mungoda, which is the cannibal trees. And it mentions somewhere down here in that article that the Mungoda have been seen by European explorers in more inaccessible parts of Madagascar. They are worshipped by the Mikodo tribe, who feed them with human sacrifices. See Willie Lay, Salamanders and Other Wonders, New York, 1955. Why? Why are you
Yeah.
listing sources? This is a fictional book.
Listen.
I
He
love
likes
it.
to be thorough.
It's so stupid that I love it.
It is kind of. I mean, say what you want about Carter, but at least he cites his inspirations.
He
Also,
does.
another thing on the appendix. You know how I mean I'm comparing like
Mhm.
rotten apples to like exquisite oranges, but Tolkien has his appendix, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's so the appendix are a book in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like entries for the appendix and what happens, and this character does that on that date and in that time, and so on and so forth. And his timeline is like 1 to 1 million BC, approximately.
Yeah. It's great.
Then there's like
Just that.
year 1, 500,000 BC, 1 to 1,000, approximately 1,000 to
Approx-
about 2,000, and then it goes on for a bit, and then it goes, the coming of Thongor in 6999, nice, and then he does like 7,008, 7008, 7008, 7009, 7014. Events described in Thongor at the end of time. Events
Yeah.
described in Thongor in the City of Magicians. Like, that's it. It's like
Yeah.
it's like 2 pages of appendix, pretty much.
Buy the next book.
It's endearing, is what it is.
Well,
Sure.
I assume the timeline was added to it because this is the re-release, and the other books had already came out whenever
Huh.
the re-release came out.
Yeah,
And so,
fair enough.
but at the same time, if your books are already out, why aren't the events at least kind of briefly summarized?
Source:
'Cause you have to buy the
see
book.
Thongor and the Wizard of Lemuria.
Yeah. Source, give me money. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
New York, 1965. Yeah.
And
Anyway.
the stuff on this timeline, I don't even know what he's talking about. The era of the Grey Enchanters. What is that?
Don't worry
They-
about it.
They had gray robes and they enchanted things.
Exactly.
You're
It's
right.
in the name, Cameron.
Oh my god.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
Seriously.
You got yellow druids, red druids, and gray enchanters. This is
If
pretty
you
fucking clear.
if you collect all the colors of the rainbow and you mix them together, it gives you not white but gray.
And Thongor is Thongor the Mighty, son of Thumatar, of the Black Hawk people from
Yeah.
Valkarth in the Northlands.
Obviously.
hmm
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of it matters.
But Conan is of the Snowhawk tribe. That's why I brought that up.
Ah,
fair
right. Fuck, forgot about that.
hmm
Anyway, in conclusion, this book is mediocre. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I would not recommend people read this.
No,
No.
this
Skip.
has been a waste of our time enough that. Oh, the one thing I wanted to point out was that I was asking in a sword and sorcery group about this book. I'm like, what am I missing? Because there seems to be a lot of hubbub about it, at least enough to warrant 5 or 6 books or however many. And now I learned from Cam it's got pastiches and shit.
Uh-huh.
So, am I missing anything? And one person came in and said, Lynn Carter was very, very enthusiastic, but he just wasn't a good writer. So he was very enthusiastic, but he was a really bad writer. And I
the
think
dude
that's
was prolific.
yeah.
The
that
only
kinda
other
sums it up.
thing that I've read of his, and I never finished it, was his answer to like Red Sonja. It's called Terra of the Twilight.
Great.
It's garbage. Don't read it.
No,
It's it's so bad.
We're doing a 2-in-1 for this podcast. We did that book as well.
It's so bad.
garbage.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, we might as well, because this is the brand. We read shitty books and then talk about them.
Yeah, yeah.
On that note, we do have to wrap up.
Yeah.
We'll see what we carry on with if we go to book 2, since Cam's read it. I'm
Yeah.
all the way through book 3. I'm probably not gonna go further than that.
No,
But
there's no point.
do we
but I
wanna,
have some ideas.
Do the trilogy.
sure, we can try and
do
tough
the
it out.
trilogy. Yeah,
Sure.
why not? But
Right.
anyway, thank you for being here, and I hope anyone has endured this with us, and if so, we apologize.
Yeah.
No, dude, you can apologize. Speak for yourself. All right,
Well, all
so
right then.
see everyone next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Or here.
My brothers in suffering, I shall see you next time.
See y'all.